Hello, everybody, and welcome to the third episode of CRT. That's Cody.
And I'm Robbie.
Time! So, one thing that you might be seeing with this is that it's not being uploaded on a Friday, if you have noticed that the previous episodes have gone up on Friday. The reason
You
for this
smell
is
that, Cody?
because. I do.
I smell love in there.
Oh, that's why. It's because today's Valentine's Day! At least it's going up on Valentine's Day.
And from all of us here at CRT, happy
Happy
Valentine's
Valentine's
Day
Day!
Tuesday.
So, uh, the reason why we are putting this up on Valentine's Day is because this is the Valentine's Day episode. To all of you that have someone, I'm happy for you. I'm sure that Rami's happy for you. All of us are happy for you. And we hope that you have a good day today. Try not
And for
to eat
those
too
who
many
aren't,
Oh yeah, for those of you that aren't, take this moment to just kind of celebrate yourself. You are worth it. There's gonna be someone out there for you, and even if there isn't, you are a pretty awesome person. There's only one of you in the whole entire world, and there will only ever be one of you. Think
and
about
just
that.
because you don't have that special someone, doesn't mean you can't spread love in different ways.
Exactly.
Love your dog. Love, love. You know, take
Love
yourself.
your friends. Love your family.
Love yourself. Love yourself.
Oh yeah, that's a hard one to do
Spoil, spoil,
sometimes.
spoil yourself
And
today.
take yourself on a
Okay.
nice date, okay? Just don't drink too much wine, you crazy kid. Uh, all right. So, one of the things that is coming with today's episode, since it is the Valentine's Day episode, is we are going to be talking about relationships, romantic relationships in particular, because with all things, romantic relationships have a good, a bad, and a chunky. Rami, should
Do you want
I?
to Do you want to? Yeah. Do you want to do a refresher
All
on what
right.
that is?
Okay. For those of you that don't know, the good, the bad, and the chunky, let me break it down for you. The good is the good stuff that comes with what we're talking about because, of course, if it's there, there is good with it. The good stuff is the stuff that will help you mature as a person. It'll help you when your mind's not in exactly the most well lit of places, and helps you it just helps you improve with your mental state or your state as a person in general. It's the parts of the tool that are doing what the tool is made for. The
Mm-hmm.
bad is the stuff that comes with the tool being used improperly or just stuff that just happens, you know? We're talking about relationships today. We talked about it last time too. Relationships, of course, are going to have some bad with them because, hey, all of us are people. None of us are perfect. Perfection and people, that's a myth. And that myth has been busted. So,
Just like me having good legs.
damn it, Robbie. Yeah. What are they talking about now? Oh, yeah, the third part. The chunky. The chunky is when we're going into how there is no true good or true bad with what we're talking about. Most
It's
things,
all gray.
mm-hmm, most things are gray in various different parts of gray, but it's all gray. And we need to spread it out. We need to spread
Yep.
it out evenly, and sometimes the chunks can add some good flavor.
There's no
I
50
love.
Shades about the chunky.
Oh no, but all of it's good. At least to me.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and for those of you wondering, yes, I'm referring to peanut butter. And yes, I think chunky can be better than creamy. Have
I
at
just
me,
love peanut
haters.
butter. Peanut butter's life.
Oh yeah. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the good. So, Rami, you've been in quite a few relationships, right?
Well, that's an understatement, sure. Yes, I have.
All right. What are some of the good things that are that's come out of those relationships that you've had?
Well, um, the ability to know that I'm compatible with somebody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, compatibility is the main. I think when you're going into a relationship, that's obviously object numero uno, compatibility. Um,
Right.
and then loyalty. You want somebody that's gonna love you for you and not leave you, because I think when you have mental issues, you know, at least in my case, like that's something I always worry about. Are they gonna leave me because of my disability? Blah blah blah. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Am I too
another thing,
much? Or are they going to be? Am I going to be too much for them to handle? Am I just laying too much into them? That kind of stuff. There's always going to be those kind of thoughts.
I got no legs. Um,
You don't need
and
legs.
and you know, another thing is kindness,
Mm.
and compassion. Like they go hand in hand. I'm using them as one because you want somebody kind. You don't need a you don't want a dick. You don't want a bitch. Okay, it just does not end well. I've been in those relationships. We'll get to that later.
Oh yeah.
Um, and three, you want somebody who's real, who's
Mm-hmm.
honest, and who will just tell you how like it is.
Yeah. You
You
need
know,
to have someone that's going to help you through the good times and bad, just like you're going to help them through the good times and bad. For good to come out of a relationship, it needs to be a 50-50 thing. You need to help them just as they need to help you. As long as you
and
can get even close to the 50-50, if it's 45-55, okay. Just don't make it 75-25 or one of you putting in all the work and the other one not putting in any. That just doesn't lead to good things.
and perfectionism is not a thing in a relationship. Sorry, guys. Like I know we would all love that idea, but it's not. It's not possible.
No?
Just throwing that out there.
Well, I mean, we can't be Mr. Perfect, and I wouldn't want to be anyway because Mr. Perfect was a heel, if I remember correctly.
One of the best in the wrestling business.
Well, that's true, but I mean, he's not going to be my favorite of the heels, Rami.
Of course not.
No, no.
Even though he was perfect.
True.
Eh,
Rami, he was perfect, but was he awesome?
yeah. No.
uh, and even beyond that, was he ever the king?
Hater.
Actually, wait. I have to think about that for a second.
Anyway, we're segueing off of this. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So the good, we're still on the good. Let's.
Still on the good. Um, but yeah, you don't. Perf- Nobody's gonna be perfect. Everybody has flaws. You gotta learn to accept everybody for who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Acceptance is also, I think, one of my main things in a relationship, as you, because we have issues, Peter.
We do, we do. So our minds aren't always the best place. Uh,
I
a
know
lot of
mine wasn't this morning.
uh, yeah.
But but just somebody there to know that uh you're loved
Mm-hmm.
and you do matter. It's important. You know. What else about the good, buddy?
Well, um, you're going to be adding to your security nets. You're going to be adding to that network of people that you can fall on when the times get rough, when the bad things happen. And I'm not just talking about the bad things for those of us that have mental issues, because, I mean, let's face it, even if you don't have depression or anxiety or OCD or any of the long, long, long list of mental stuff going on, the day's gonna come when you may not have enough serotonin or any of that feel good drug in your brain to help you get through it, and you're gonna be a little bit depressed,
Just a little,
or you're gonna be a little bit anxious.
just a little bit.
And when that time comes, it's always good to have a security net. And one of the good parts and one of the good types of security nets is a someone that loves you.
A
And
lover.
yeah, and I'm not talking about familial love. I'm not talking about brotherly love. I am talking about the romantic way because there is something special about that. It's nice to feel wanted and loved in the other ways, but when you feel romantically wanted or sexually wanted, that can be a pretty big boost.
Yeah, you know, Cody and I were talking about um, this before we started recording. How having a girlfriend is just different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a different type of love. It's a different bond, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
not saying you don't love your bros or your girls or your family, but when you have that ride or die, nothing else can replace it. There's nothing like it.
I love calling them a ride or die. Uh,
It's the best. It's the best way I could describe it.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But yeah, when you have that person that they want you in a romantic way or a sexual way, and it's a very different feeling because
Right.
it's a bit deeper.
Yeah,
It's like you've discovered the the deep end of the pool and you found
it's
a
like
really
you've
good
discovered
diving bell.
Christ on toast. You
Christ
know.
on toast.
Hmm.
Uh
Um, I think our first reactions are usually because you've been in a relationship
mhm.
and I've been in
Yeah,
many, and
just the
I
one.
think
Just the one.
singular. That's okay, Peter. You got experience. But you know, I think our first reaction when we finally get that acceptance, and maybe I shouldn't be speaking for you, but my first reaction is, really? You want me? I mean, maybe that plays in more to my insecurities,
No,
but
it's I mean, yes, but I had that feeling too. I think it just
it
kind
just
of it comes with the territory of
I think it's more of, oh my god, this is actually happening. Like,
mhm.
and it's a big in some ways it's a big sigh of relief, right? Because it's like we're fucked up, right? But we did it. I did it.
Mhm.
I finally got something that I've been wanting for a long time.
Right.
It's like an achievement on a video game.
Yeah. And this one, well, depending on who you are, I guess it can be like bronze or something, but I like to think that it's a gold or a platinum. Look,
I
man,
love you.
you're speaking to a gamer here. You had to know it
I
was
love you
coming.
so much. I love you
Just
so
yes
much.
and me, bro. Yes and come on.
Yes, and
And it's a good achievement. I think it's at least
anyways,
100 or 200 points, maybe 200,000.
but but it but it does it just does something.
Mm-hmm.
It makes I think to kind of connect it to our other episode, our last one rather. It feels that emotional pull, right? Like it feels
Mm-hmm.
the good side to a level that maybe hasn't been reached in a while, you know?
It's definitely a boost. Uh, and a boost is always a good thing to have. Having that toolbox or security net is a good way to manage the broken pool or house or whatever you want to compare your brain to. Uh,
Outhouse.
Outhouse? No. Hell no. I'm putting the kibosh on that one right now.
There's a lot of shit in there, though.
There is a lot of shit in there, but that doesn't mean that your whole brain is an outhouse.
Okay.
You want to associate sexual stuff with an outhouse, Rami? I mean,
Okay.
I'm not gonna kink shame, but you know, really. I mean, I guess
I,
you do you, buddy.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Kinky.
Anyway, no. Let's use the pool analogy.
Yeah, it'd be better.
No, but just filling that emotional pool, right?
Mm-hmm.
It just feels good. It's like a level of accomplishment that you never thought you may have reached if it's your first relationship, you
Or
know?
even sometimes if it's not, if you've been having bad relationship after bad relationship and you finally get
Or
a good relationship.
or if you're like me and you've been in a drought for 2 years,
Oh,
you
boo
know,
hoo, 2 years.
you can fuck right off, Peters.
Love you too, bro. Um,
Love you.
but
I apologize. We apologize, folks. We
we
were kind of
do.
off the rails.
Um, but there's of course other good things that come out of that. You have someone that can share burdens with you, because sometimes there are burdens that you're going through or secrets that you're holding that you don't want to tell your family or you don't want to tell your friends, even that friendship that's like in the inner circle kind of thing. Sometimes there are things that you just don't want to tell them, like some you may not be as personal with your inner friendships as you would be with a lover. You might be just like not wanting to be as open or vulnerable with them. You
Oh,
might not want to
yeah.
lower the armor. And with that
No,
lover, you might be able to.
and it feels good, right? Because you're able to just be like, I'm not going to be judged. I'm not going to be, you know, I'm not going to be shamed. I can finally get some of this off my chest, which for some people that have mental issues is desperately needed.
Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, for at least coming from my point of view, before I had some of the tools, my main tool for the mental stuff going on is I would just bottle it up. And that's not good.
Nope.
You need
No.
ways to
Well,
release that all some of that stuff in the bottle, or it's just gonna break one of
and
those days.
I think we'll get more in depth with that in another episode because that's actually a good topic,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? Uh, but no, I totally agree. You need to let some of that out, and like we keep saying, with your friends and family, they're there, and your friends may be like your brothers, like Cody and I are brothers,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't share everything with each other, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to be able to share that with somebody, and usually it is good to share it with a girlfriend
Or a
or
boyfriend, or you know whatever you are doing. What it's good to share it with someone.
yeah,
Whatever
just
you
whatever your
identify
preference
as, or
is.
whatever you're sexually attracted to, so long as, in my opinion, so long as they are of age to agree to that kind of stuff, cool.
Yep,
Or can consent to that kind of stuff, cool.
yep. And we just want to be clear, we're not going to judge anybody's sexual preference. Like, we're all happy for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you do you, you be happy. If you have somebody that's making you happy, great. Proud of, happy for you.
Mm-hmm. In the words of an esteemed YouTuber that I watch sometimes from a somewhat old video, you do you, and I'll do me, and we won't do each other. Probably.
Did I steal that?
I mean, go ahead. I'm not the one that made it up. It was Markiplier.
That's beautiful. That's
Right? He even said when he came up with that, he's just like, "That was beautiful. I need to write that down."
I gotta. I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna use it for off air. But
uh,
yeah,
all right. So, do you think that we've probably covered enough of the good? Should we move on
I
to the?
I, I would say so. Do you?
All right then. Let's go on ahead and move to the part that some of you might not have considered, which is the bad. Now,
And some of you may be wondering, is there really a bad side to relationships? Yeah,
oh, there's a bad
yeah.
side to everything out there.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
Well,
with relationships, sometimes you can be overly dependent on people in relationships. And when you are overly dependent, that could be bad for both you and the other person. The other person or party or whatever, they can end up getting so much weight
I'm
from
a,
you constantly leaning on them that they might end up not progressing enough as a person themselves.
or
Or,
just or just fucking mentally breaking down.
yep, don't put too much pressure on people. People can be fragile, people can break. I know a lot of people might seem like they're made out of titanium, but I mean, we're still people. We still have hearts. We still have minds. And those minds can only take so much. Those hearts can only take so much before eventually cracks start appearing.
Yeah,
Everything is breakable.
and you don't want to have too many cracks. You can't glue. You can't put them. But just don't want to have too many cracks.
Right. Now, don't feel bad about depending on your lover or friends or whatever sometimes because we need to depend on each other. We need to trust in each other. Trust is the basis for every single kind of relationship that you can have. Otherwise, you're not going to be telling them anything. You're not going to be trusting them with anything. You're going to just bottle it up, and then you will break. We need
We
to.
don't want you. We don't want you guys to break.
No, breaking's not fun. I've gotten pretty damn close to breaking before. I've had shutdowns. Uh, but
And I've heard about them, and I've been there through some of them. They're not fun.
no. Uh, so it's good to rely on your friends and family and lovers. Just don't only depend on them solely. Spread it
Yeah,
out. Spread your love out. Spread your dependencies out. I know it can be uncomfortable to be vulnerable, but if you're vulnerable to them, they might get vulnerable to you. It's a very human thing. Very good trade
yeah,
off.
and who knows? You know, who knows what could happen? Like the, if you put vulnerability out there, maybe somebody's just waiting for you to be like, maybe a friend is waiting for you to open up to them about something.
Mm-hmm.
They could come back with, I've been waiting for this. You may be pleasantly surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I don't know if that makes sense,
Oh
but
no, it makes a
yeah,
lot of sense. It's when you show vulnerability, that leads to you also showing availability. If you are vulnerable to them, that shows them that you are available to be vulnerable too. That shows that since you are trusting them, they can trust you. Trust is a two-way street.
And it goes a long way.
Oh yeah. And the more you put in, the more trust you put in, the better that street's gonna be. It can look like a dirt road right now, but soon you can make that thing into the most pristine looking highway out there. The kind of highway that's always getting the litter picked up off it.
And trust is what's going to lead you, especially in a relationship. Like let's say you're dating this girl or this guy for 2 years
Mm,
and you want to pull the trigger and get married, right?
mm. I'd say tie the
Trust,
knot, but.
well, whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
Um, if you don't trust them enough to pull the trigger on being vulnerable,
There's nothing good that's
there,
gonna come out of that.
yeah, and there's a crack in your foundation right there,
Mm-hmm.
right? So trust is the most essential thing in a relationship, especially if you're gonna take that leap into marriage.
Mm-hmm. Which is why cheating is not good. Cheating is a betrayal of trust. To trust someone, you have to make yourself trustable as well. It's a good thing to do. It's a human thing to do.
Right. Um. Well, besides dependency, what else, buddy?
Well, there's a lot of things that can happen. Like, let's say that you do trust them completely and everything. Well, they can always end up just not being
Burning you.
good. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can always get burned, which in itself can be it feels bad when that happens, you know? It feels bad
Oh,
when
I
you
know.
trust someone completely and then they just knock you down. And
Yeah, I've done it and I've been on the receiving end of it, and it doesn't feel good to do or to take, you
no,
know?
no it doesn't. Um it's one of the things that might even make you closed off to other people. That's always a sad thing when that happens.
Because if you get closed off from them, it might close you off from your support system too.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
But
It
also in
kind of
that,
goes, go
yeah.
ahead.
No, you go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say it kind of goes back to the codependency thing. Like if your trust is so broken from being burned, that you can't reach out to your support system, you're going to lose part of yourself. And that's not good either.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I was going to say.
Yep. And it's true. But also, it can make you get to be it can make you not trust whatever gender or sex it was that hurt you. You can end up being one of those guys that ends up saying all women are cheaters or all women want is this or all women are like this or or it could lead you to being like all men are pigs or all men just want sex or all men, blah 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 blah. It can lead down
Yeah,
that road.
it can cause you to write off it can cause you to write off the other gender, and that's not good. That doesn't create open-mindedness, and when you're going for relationships, you have to be open-minded. You have
Also,
to be.
you need to be of the mindset of, and this is not just with like sexual or romantic relationships either. You
Friendships, family,
mm-hmm,
you know.
you can't put everyone in a box because we're people. Even though a lot of people can be predictable to some people, and we can always do things that other people can see through. We can lie about stuff that's easy to uh, be seen that we're lying. that still doesn't mean that we can all be put in a box. Because if you put people in a box too much, then you're going to just end up with a negative view on everything, and you're going to turn down stuff that could have been amazing. And if you don't put people in a box, they might just surprise you and be the exact opposite of the way you thought that they were. If there's a woman that you thought would be a complete and total bitch, but you don't put her in the bitch box and you give her a little bit of trust, she could end up not being a total bitch and end up being one of the nice people. Or, if you think that all guys are pigs, but then it will make you think down a bad road. But if you give some guys a chance, then
or
they
some
might,
girls.
or some girls, they might turn out not to be pigs or, any of those kind of beasts. They might end up actually being nice. They might be princes or princesses or, you know,
Angels.
yeah, or angels. Any of these things. It could be the reverse too, of course, but it's one of the things that goes with trust. Trust will make everything. It'll open up a lot of doors for you and build a lot of bridges. But to get back on track, the just part of the bad is getting spurned, and it can make you into a terrible person. Just try not
It
to let
can
that
poison
happen.
you to love.
Mm-hmm. Can you
And
think of more stuff, bud?
um, you know, I would say maybe the last thing we could cover before we move on to the chunky is um honesty, right? Uh,
That's part of the bad. Is honesty,
well, if you
or
lie to them, sure.
well, okay, yeah. So the lack of honesty,
Lack of honesty.
yeah,
Thank you.
um, which is completely true. Honesty and trust kind of go hand in hand with each other, and if you break that trust and you're not honest, that can 100% lead down a slippery slope for both you and the other person, because that other person might not end up trusting people anymore, and you would be the direct cause of that. Or
Yeah,
if it comes out that you were the one that was untrustworthy and that you weren't honest about things, it can end up painting you in a pretty bad light for everyone else. It's one of the
I
reasons why you should make yourself trustworthy. If stuff's going wrong in the relationship, tell the person. If you don't think that you can stay in the relationship anymore, let the other person know. It's always good to be honest, because at
common
the
courtesy.
it is
Yeah,
it's a common courtesy. Also, it'll just make you feel better in the end when you get it off your chest.
yeah. I've listened. First off, because we're talking about this, right?
Mm.
I just want to apologize to every girlfriend I've ever had that I've lied to. If you listen to this, I'm sorry. Um, it doesn't get you anywhere, right? It doesn't. And if you think that, oh, I can lie to her or I can lie to them, and they won't find out. One lie won't do any damage. It does damage. Maybe not at that moment, but that you will be found out, and the cracks in the trust foundation will start to grow.
Not to mention, if you lie and then get found out about it, it's going to make you that much worse because you lied about it.
It's just so I know that coming clean, because I'm a terrible liar, guys. Cody knows
Yeah, he
this.
is. Yeah, he
I I
is.
I I'm I've always lied because I'm always afraid of getting in trouble. But 9 times out of 10, when I've come clean, it, it's not as bad as I think it would be, and it's taken me a while to figure that out. But especially in relationships, if somebody's giving it their all and you're not all in, or you do something shitty like cheat or lie about seeing a friend that you weren't supposed to see, that you both said, hey, I'm, you both mutually agreed upon, like, hey, this person's no good. Distrust is a relationship killer. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Be honest. That's all I'm going to say.
And that's a good thing to say because it
Did,
is true.
did you ever think that would come out of my mouth?
I mean, yeah, because even though
Wow.
you are a liar and you have lied about things in the past, you're still a good person underneath that. You understand that what you did was wrong, and that's kind of part of the reason why you lie about it sometimes, is because you know it's wrong. But you do come clean about it, especially because you're such a terrible liar. Um, which
Chunky.
is good though. It's good because you do come clean, and that shows that you are trustworthy, at least in my
Ugh,
eyes.
thanks, buddy. It's a little weird getting used to it, but I'm trying.
That's good.
Um. Anyway, should we move on to the chocolate?
Oh, the chunky chocolate.
Chunky.
Are you thinking of? You're thinking of chocolate, aren't you? Is it
I
because
said
it's?
chunk a lot.
Oh, I thought you said chocolate.
Chocolate. Well,
Chocolate. Uh,
I love you. Sorry.
come along, Jeffrey. uh, yes. Let's move on to the chunky. Now, again,
You
what
have
I
any
mean.
thoughts on? Do you want to start us off, Peter?
Well, sure. So with a lot of these things that we have said, relationships are definitely one of the things that I would especially consider great because of the good and the bad. But you have to take the good with the bad, and you have to take the bad with the good. What I mean by this is if you get cheated on by someone, then that could make you grow as a person. You know, by breaking it off with that cheater, you can end up finding the right person who won't cheat on you, or you'll be able to look for some of the more common signs of being cheated on.
Yeah, you'll notice the red flags,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And those things are those things are common enough to be seen a lot of times. Speaking partly from experience, I guess. Not with Erica, with a
Mm.
different girl back in high school. It just didn't progress to the point of being a thing. But she kept talking about us becoming a thing, and uh, some stuff.
False hoping.
Well, not even so much false hoping. She kept talking about being in a relationship with me, and then I found out later that while she was saying that, she was having sex with an ex and got pregnant. So,
Oh yeah, I
uh,
remember.
yeah. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, now I did not take that and think all women are cheaters and all of that. I took that, I learned from it, and then I found a good friend who became a really good girlfriend that lasted for a few years, and then we just decided to go back to being friends because we weren't really advancing anywhere, which is good though
It is.
because we both decided it, and I still have a very good friend out of that. So,
Yeah, yeah. I
Um,
wish I wish I could say the same about some of my relationships, but
mm,
you know, I, if you can mutually agree
mm-hmm,
to mutuality is so part of a relationship as well,
mm,
because that's what it is, right? Like
mm-hmm,
you can't just you can't just go into a relationship and be like, well, it's gonna be all my way. It's gonna be all, I'm gonna wear the pants. Yep. You, there can be a time and a place for that in situations, but nobody wears the pants 100% of the time.
that's right. Those are communal pants. You put those on, you take those off. Uh, thank you for the chuckle. Thank you for that.
Communal pants.
Communal pants. I mean, hey, I'm sure there are some places that do that. I just, put some Febreze on those pants at least before you put them on.
Yeah, you don't know where they've been or who's been in them.
I mean, you know who's been in them, you know where they've been. Just, put some Febreze on. Who knows how much they've sweat in those.
Um, yeah, but I think my point was, I think it's kind of crazy to think, hey, you know, we're, we're not, I think teamwork is important.
Mm,
The aspect of teamwork.
mm-hmm,
Because if in the beginning of a relationship, like when you're trying to figure out if y'all compatible, maybe that's, more of, well, I'm going to do this and you're going to do that and blah, blah, blah. That's the warming up process, right?
mm-hmm. You're setting up the boundaries. And you're
But
seeing what's, if you are compatible. It's a good thing. That's why dating is such a good thing. It's because you're
it
learning about
is.
each other.
But I think more of the gray area goes into compromising and teamwork because
Mm,
it, if you're not compromising and you're not working as a team, it ain't going to work. It's just not.
true.
I've been there. I Does that apply to this?
I mean, that would more be in the good. Uh, One thing that could go into that is, if you go and try to work together and try to be a team, that both has good and bad, but you can learn from the bad and you can advance from the good and the bad.
Right, and you can
So,
grow. I think that's what I was trying to say.
mm-hmm,
Is you can. Thank you, Peter.
mm-hmm.
It's a good thing you're here. I you can learn from it and you can grow. You know, um, growth. I think growth falls into that gray area too because not a lot of people think about that. They think about, oh, she did this wrong, he did this wrong. No, you guys are one. You guys are together.
Mm.
You guys are nobody's on an island. And the
No
quicker
man
you
is an
figure,
island.
I mean, we're on Lonely Island, but
I
you know,
mean, dude, if I knew Lonely Island, I'd be happy.
I know.
Who
But
I mean, who doesn't want to, like, high five or have some drinks with what's
Andy
not
Sandberg,
yeah, Andy Samberg. Yeah. Who doesn't want that? Or the rest of the crew. Freaking love Lonely
dick,
Island.
dick in a box.
Step
I
one.
just wanted to get it. I just wanted to get it out of my system. I'm
Uh
sorry.
huh. Uh huh.
What else can go with the gray area, buddy?
Well, I mean, almost everything can. Like, if you get broken up with or break up with someone, you've still matured as a person. You know what you like, what you don't like, and
It may
you.
not feel like it, but
No,
you have.
it's something that takes time, as all things take time. You know, it can take a couple of years, it can take a couple months, but eventually you'll realize that you did grow from the end of that relationship. Everything happens for a reason, and those reasons can help you grow. You just need to make sure to keep pushing that boulder so that it doesn't get any moss on it.
And you need to make sure you're, you know, open minded enough. Don't get us wrong. Breakups suck, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Getting cheated on sucks. But like
Mm-hmm.
I think eventually there comes a point where you have to be like, okay, how can I grow from this? How can I what have I learned? And it may not be easy to go back to that pain, but pain is what, in some ways, pain makes us grow. And that's what you need in a relationship or looking for one is growth.
Yep. Use that pain as experience to level yourself up, and together we can grind this road called life.
Wow.
Look, man, there's only so many analogies I can make. But I'm
No,
going
that
I'm
was
gonna throw in a video game analogy in there.
part of who you are, Peter.
And don't you forget it.
Well, what have we talked about? So, we've talked about the good, you
Mm-hmm.
know, which was being compatible
Mm-hmm. Feeling of
and
acceptance, the new net, or addition to the net. Uh,
and we've covered the bad,
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which the codependency, cheating, um,
I'm
which
very
can cut
proud.
off that net.
I'm very proud of you, Rami, for getting all this and remembering it. Very proud.
Thanks, buddy.
Uh,
And then we've covered the chunky,
oh yeah. Which
which
remember,
is
which remember, anything can be chunky. The chunky is just advice on how you can look at a situation that you find to be, nothing good coming out of it, but there can be good coming out of it. You just have to know how to spread it.
so I guess the chunky is more about how to look at things, not just one way.
Mm-hmm. Which is very helpful throughout multiple points in life. It's helped me out quite a bit in a lot of different areas. A lot of
It's
the
made you
ways,
a good.
well, a
It's
lot
made
of,
you a good friend, buddy.
thank you. Like, a lot of the ways that I've been able to mediate things between friends is because I don't just look on one side or the other. And it's it can be hard sometimes to put words to it, but at the end of the day, it's good. It's a good tool to have. Always keep your chunky with you.
You never know when you're gonna need peanut butter.
Mm, no.
Any weird facts, buddy?
Hmm.
As
Did
we
you?
kind of wind this down here.
Okay then. Since it is Valentine's Day, did you know that one of the only other animals out there that has sex for fun is the dolphin?
Cue the dolphin noises. Oh, we don't
Oh
have
no, no,
dolphins.
we don't have dolphins. But did you actually know that, Rami? It's an interesting fact.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, a lot most
The more
other
you know.
yeah most other animals do sex for procreation. Dolphins just kind of do it also for fun.
Well,
So,
well, well, good to know. Good to know
oh
that they're having fun.
yeah, 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 yeah. And hey,
And
Rami, you know what else?
what else, buddy?
Well, you're Rami.
I'm Cody, or I'm not Cody.
Good night, everybody.